in the mat drills, you really don't do anything that pertains to football. It's to see the mental toughness and how can you guide yourself through chaos. So right now, like when we play football, like football doesn't change as far as the physical aspect. A 3 is a 3, a G is a G, a 5 is a 5. But in the width of schemes, like you gotta understand, like okay, I'm doing this because this person behind me, or I'm doing this because this is my gap. So it's different things as far as like how we play, but in all, like football is football when it comes down to the physical aspect. Now it's just okay, this is a new play, new scheme. So like now we're gonna understand, okay, I got the play from coach. Everything's quick because now not only do we get the play call fast, but the offense is tempo. So now we got to get used to, okay, I don't have time to walk around. Like, I got to get set now. What am I doing? So it's just like the pace of everything, the tempo of everything that kind of gets you.
What do you think? I was gonna say, what do you think about the pace as a defensive guy, having to deal with an offense this?
I mean, that's just gonna help us because in a game, like you're so stressed out. Like when you play other teams in the Big Ten, they don't really have tempo offenses. So now that you're able to practice that every day, like when you get in the game, it's like, okay, I'm chilling. Now I know what to do. I'm going through my progressions. I'm good. So it kind of gets you ready for that aspect when you have 80,000 fans and you're in the trans and you're kind of messing up. You're having a mental breakdown or you're having a brain fart. You're able to just bring yourself in and be like, I practice this. I can do this. I've done it faster than what we're doing in the game. So it just prepares you.
At 10:30. You got to get going.
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And seems like you got Coach Scruggs, but occasionally Coach Fickle comes by and just kind of offers his take on things. Obviously, you've seen him in the off season, you've seen him in the weight room, you've seen him jump in the pool or whatever on the social media. But tell us a little bit about Coach Fickle on the field in those moments where he's kind of helping, teach the game.
He has a hands-on approach to everything. Like I've seen him like behind the scenes as far as like how he breaks down film and he can talk about every single position. And like being a D lineman, like I ain't gonna lie to you, like as a D lineman, I don't know what the linebacker is. I don't know what get to the flat is or all that stuff. I don't know coverages. I know front mechanics. And so like to see a guy that has played my position, know everything, and then for him to come into inside run while we're watching film and break it down, and I know he's going to another room and doing that same stuff with them. Like just to see him have a hands-on approach is just really nice. And just to see a head coach be a D lineman, like that's a lot of inspiration. So it's cool to have him around and see his approach to everything, his high energy, and just his hands-on effect.
What's the excitement level like just with his new staff, a lot of new players? It just seems like you guys are like all amped up about this.
I mean, like when you have a winter like we did where you work as hard as us, like not to say that we haven't worked as hard in the past, but this, attacking and put like the challenges that we had against us in the winter just helped us a lot. And like I think that everybody is just kind of happy to see where their body is and how they feel, and like they're just excited. I mean, we haven't really played football in a while, and to be honest, like me personally, I'm not too satisfied with last season. So just to get another chance to come out here and work towards something better and greater than yourself is just a nice feeling.
Rodas, just as a follow-up, kind of going off that, you guys lost Keanu, and Gio was telling me that you guys kind of have a chip on your shoulder, and you just mentioned that you're not satisfied with what you did last year. Just would you agree with that? The room has a chip on their shoulder?
Most definitely. I mean, you got to play football like that. Even if we don't have a chip on our shoulder as a unit, like as individuals, like I mean, you've heard many stories of Herbie talking about people doubted me. Like a lot of people that come here have some type of hardship and they're fighting through it every day. So just to come out here and play the game that you love, like the game that you've been playing as a kid. So just to come out here and have fun, like that's a lot. That means a lot to us. So yes, I mean we have a lot to deal with losing Keanu, but I mean you lose people every year. We lost Henny the year before, and you guys were asking the same questions as far as how does it feel to lose Henny. Yeah. Like the show doesn't stop. The world keeps revolving. So you got to find your way through it and come out on top.
From what we've been able to see, at least, you guys have been running a lot of two defensive lineman looks, nickel packages. Mm-hmm. What's the transition been like going from Jim Leonard's 3-4 defense?
You'd be surprised. Like we've run a lot of nickel in the past. Like it's been times where it was just me and James or me and Keanu, or Keanu and Mully, or Keanu and James, or me and Gio. So we've run a lot of nickel. It's just a different approach to nickel. Like before we could lay stuff, or if it was built in, we could just get off the block and let the linebackers deal with it. Now we got to realize that, okay, we can't do that anymore. Like we got to be selfless and hold this double team, because at the end of the day, we're making the play by doing this and letting the linebacker come free. So that's what it comes down to.
In practice yesterday, we saw that dollar look for the first time.
Yeah.
you guys as DNs are kind of pushed out to that 5 for first. I don't know if you guys did that a lot before, but it seemed like it at least. What are some of the challenges or things that you like about playing that 5?
It's free space as a D lineman. Like, you know, the hardest thing you can play to me is from B gap to B gap. So that's going from a 4-eye, 3, 2-eye, 1, or a shade or a 0. So that realm is the hardest, and that's the most physically demanding part of playing D line. So now that we have that space, like, it's fun, it's free, but you gotta understand, like, you have a job. So it's just like you have freedom, but do your job. So I mean, luckily. Luckily for me, like, I've been able and blessed enough to be able to have the mechanics to play 5 before in the defense that we had last year, even against I believe that was Washington State. I mean, my big self was standing in a 2-point stand, so like that was just fun to have. But yeah, like it's a different look, but we've seen it before, so it's cool to have it be like something that they really love and allowed us to have freedom and have fun. So
what does a healthy Isaiah Mullins bring to this defense and defensive line trying to accomplish that?
I mean, he's the strongest person I know here. Strongest person I know in general. He's very strong. So it's just like having him healthy. I mean, I know he suffered through some stuff last year, but just having him healthy and present, as you know, as the oldest guy in the room, like it's a big help, because not only is he he's able to help us on the field as far as giving us looks to show us how we're supposed to play it, but he's also there to help us lead and just being an example setter. I mean, also having his brother, like, you can also see him like take a bigger role as far as helping me with him or helping me with the younger guys that, you know, be around his brother. So it's been a big help. It's nice to have him back.
Rodas, you bringing up the Washington State game just reminds me that the tempo of their offense kind of, I don't know if surprise probably isn't the right word, but you guys, it was a bit of an adjustment. If you guys run into a similar tempo offense, would it be easier to transition into just because you kind of go up against that in practice?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I mean, if you ask me, like, yes, we lost that game, but that game came down to, like, simple plays towards the end where it's just like, you know, we weren't as disciplined. So we lost that game just because we weren't disciplined, and that's what we've been working on all winter. Yes, the tempo plays a role, but we were in shape enough to play against it. That wasn't a big deal. Although they had tempo and speed, with tempo and speed comes fatigue, and a lot of people are not disciplined through fatigue, which their O-line wasn't. So we were able to whip their butt up front, but it's just like simple things as far as, I whipped this tackle's butt, but I took him back instead of taking the B gap.
Okay.
So it's just like little stuff like that. Like, the tempo plays a role, but we'll be in shape for that. That's not a problem.
How would you describe our position coach, Greg Scruggs?
He's one of the guys, like, no disrespect, because he is our higher up, but like he's personable, like he has energy, and you need that as a D lineman. Like, you know, there's gonna be, like, people don't realize as a D lineman, like, there's a lot of downfall. There's double teams, like, you know, you got to shove the crap, and you got to deal with a double team so this linebacker can go free. So it's like, with being a D lineman, there's a lot of down, but he shows all the positives to everything. Like, even though may have a negative play, he always shows you the positive, and then he goes from there. So he just brings a lot of energy, and it's just nice to have somebody positive around you to help you uphold that energy.
You guys obviously play such a physical position.